Build a contact app with SwiftUI and SwiftData. Learn how to add search and pagination for a modern, scalable contact manager, perfect for beginners and pros looking to level up their skills within iOS development. This is the application we will create today. As you can see, it enables the user to add a new contact or view all contacts. If we click on View Contacts, it displays the contact details screen, and then we're able to navigate through each of the contacts by clicking on Next, or the previous button, or the last button. So if I click on Next, you can see that it loops through the record set for pagination, and it goes to the next record. When we reach the end of the record set, or the query or database table, it stops there. We can then go back to the previous record by clicking on the previous button, or we can click on the last button to go to the last record. We can also update the contact. Xcode is playing up again, trying to type my name in. Seems like the keyboard is not allowing me to type. Seems like Xcode is working now, the simulator is working, so I'll update my name from Kevin to my full name, which is Reed. Click on update. As you can see, the record has been updated. Click on last to go to the last record, previous. We can also filter by name using our search criteria. So if I type in read or RE, click on search, then it search or filters with all the characters that includes RE, such as Fred, as you can see, RE, and also my name, as you can see there. And also to add a new contact, you can just click on the add contact button and then add a new contact. I'll just call the contact Tom. Just enter a random number. Just enter 999, all nines. And then an email address, tom@test.com. Click on save. The record has been saved. Now we can view Tom. So Tom must be the last record in the database. As you can see, Tom is the last record in the database. So this is the tutorial and the feature we'll be creating today using SwiftUI and SwiftData. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials. The first thing we need to do within your SwiftUI project is to create your first SwiftData data table or model. So we need to create a new SwiftUI file and then name the file. Now create a new Swift file and name the file contact. Import SwiftUI, import SwiftData. Now we need to define our class. Remember, our class is our data model or data table that will store the information within our database. We also need to add an attribute or 4 attributes. The first attribute is a unique attribute that will give each of the records in our table a unique identifier, which is an ID for each of the records. We also need another attribute for name and another attribute for string, for phone number, and another attribute for email, which is string data type. To initialize our private variables, we need to create an init method. So the init method needs to accept a UUID that will have a generated UUID. Also the name, phone number, and email. So your initializer should look like this. And the purpose of the initializer is to create a new contact. So when the user clicks on add button, it will call this initializer to create a new contact within SwiftData. The next file that we need to create is our persistence controller file, which is a Swift file. Name the file persistence controller. Import SwiftUI. Import SwiftData. Struct persistence controller. So persistence controller will be a singleton class that manages the model container for data persistence. Since it will be a singleton class, we need to create the instance as static, which is a shared variable. Persistence controller. Let container model container. The model container is used for managing the persistence of the contact model. And then since this struct is a singleton class or singleton struct, we need to create an initializer. And then we need to type the following: container equals try model container for contact.self. What that will try to do is to attempt to initialize the model container for the contact model that we created previously. And the try exclamation operator is used here to assume that the container will always be successfully created. Make the language translator functional. The first thing we need to do is register for an API key. In this lesson, we will create the downloading translation view. So within the application, when the user enters the text that they want to be translated, for example, if I enter hello, and I want that to be translated from English to Spanish, when I click on translate, you'll see a view above here, which will display the word downloading. Learn to build a language translator apps with SwiftUI Master UI Design, API integration, and hands-on projects. Enroll now and start building. In the next tutorial, we will focus on creating a contacts view model. Don't forget to subscribe for more Swift and SwiftUI tutorials.